Greetings, salutations, respect, and love. Oh, I am Scott. You have joined the Prague Corner once again. Welcome. It's the Sunday live Prague service. It's the only live Prague show on the entire YouTube platform. That's why we're the #1 prog rock channel on all of YouTube, boys and girls. And today, I've got an incredibly huge figure in all of prog rock. Yeah, it's Mark Monforti.
No. No, you got the wrong guy.
Oh, wait a second. I got that wrong. Oh, it's, ladies and gentlemen, all kidding aside, I am so happy. I don't mean to bury the lead, but none other than Clive Nolan is sitting in the Prague Corner today, taking time out from rehearsals for little old me. Clive, how are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, man, it's a big honor, right, Kevin? I mean, we've had some big names, right, on the Sunday Prague stream, but
Clive probably doesn't know this, but at Prague Radio, we have a VIP of Prague Radio, the people that we think are really, keeping Prague going. And there's only 16 people in it, and Clive's one of them, and he probably doesn't know that.
Really?
Yeah, you're one of 16 of our VIP, so this is an honor for me to be here with you.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about revisiting that.
If I'd known that was the case, I'd have worn something more suitable.
I love that VIP section. I'm actually thinking about revisiting it, rebranding it, making it even bigger, because that's what we do in the Prague Corner, right? We like clickbaity stuff. I'm going to create my own Prague Hall of Fame.
There you go.
So I want to kind of get with you, Kevin, and kind of use your 16 as my starting point. Maybe add, 4, 6 more. And who knows? Laura Piazzai could be in the running for that. If she keeps putting out records like this, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Laura to the Prague Corner. I'm sorry, we've been going for 2 minutes and we haven't even talked to you yet. My bad.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm so happy to be here, and I have to say that I just saw one name writing, and it's Ghost of the Machine. I just saw Charlie. Oh, amazing! And I went to say hi, Charlie. This is for you. Just reading him now. Yeah.
We love you, Charlie. And Jason in the peanut gallery. I would be remiss, we're here in the Prague Corner. Clive, I don't know if you watch this show on the regs. I never know who's watching. If they don't comment in the peanut gallery, I really don't know. But we're all about bringing folks together, right, Kevin? We are all about building the community of Prague heads, and I don't think it gets any better than actually bringing two souls from across different continents together. Cody sprung the question and Tara said yes. It's the first Prague Corner marriage. Yes, boys and girls, we made this possible. So yeah, congratulations to Cody and Tara. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And today we're talking about another Mark Monforti home run. And I first of all, I gotta say, thank you for sending me your latest package, which includes Charlie's new album. Oh, the new Ghost of the Machine. Such a great the And the new Mark Trueck. Thank you so much. Awesome stuff. But today we're here to celebrate the brand new album from Imaginarium. We didn't think we would get another album from these guys. Clive, tell me a little bit about how this record came about with you and Laura, and why you decided to continue to go forward without your trusted companion, the one, the only, the great Erica. Tell me a little bit about all that.
Well,
and by the way, hi, Lewis.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Hi.
Good morning.
Is it morning?
Is it morning?
We do live in a sphere, Clive.
Yeah, it's morning. It's morning for me and Kevin and Mark. Yeah.
I don't know. It could have been nighttime.
Yeah. You never know. You never know these days. The internet's cool.
What country are you in at the moment?
Yeah.
I'm in Chicago in the USA. And I guess we should call it the DSA now. But yeah.
Oh boy, it's time to plug what sounds like a lyric off the new album or something.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Kevin, we decided we would try not to go there, but
Yeah, that's like
it's hard when you've got greatness sitting around. We were just chatting about two of your records, Lewis, part of the Imaginarium team this time around. Clive, tell me a little bit about this whole creation of this brand new album, how it came about. That's where we were when we got rudely interrupted by Mr. Luis Nasser.
So sorry.
Yeah, well, we did, obviously we brought out Rise of Medici, and that was the project that was begun by Eric Bouillet, the guitarist, writer, what have you. And we've been around this, sort of talking about how that all began. But when Eric passed away, it seemed to me, and I'm sure to most people, that was pretty much it for the Imaginarium idea, because that had been Eric, Laura, and myself. I had a lot of doubt as to whether it was really possible to do another Imaginarium album, because it seemed like it would just be a Clive Nolan album, if you like. And it sort of happened by accident, because I was going to do another album with Laura. It was a kind of a follow-up to something we'd done ages ago, which was really her just reinterpreting songs I'd written over the last 30 years. And she made me promise that I'd put at least one new track on that album. So I had this sort of, it came from a dream. That's a whole new story. But basically, I had this idea for a song, so I wrote it. And that was I think, called All There Is to See. It was like literally this idea of voice, cello, piano. Very, very simple. And then off the back of that, I had some other ideas. So I thought, well, maybe I'll put two new tracks on this album. And then it just kind of kept going. And then all of a sudden, I had about half an album. And a friend of mine said, this is Imaginarium. You should do another Imaginarium one. And I think that somehow in amongst all of that, working with Laura and everything, I found the hat. I always call it the hat. When I'm writing for Arena, I've got the Arena hat. When I'm writing the musicals hat. And I never really thought I'd find an Imaginarium hat, but I seem to have done precisely that. And it felt so natural to write this stuff in this particular way to get this particular effect. And then, finding the musicians, it was actually Mark that suggested Lewis, which is a brilliant idea, because he's brought another little sort of flavor, which, you need somebody else to bring that flavor. It's not something I would have done myself. It's something that he's brought to the table. So that's great. We're going to who
is this Marco Sangrigoli? Who is this cat who seemingly can do everything? The Marco Sangrigoli. Who is this guy? Tell me a little bit how he came into the fold.
He's Italian as well, but living in England. And I met him some years ago because he's a fan of the stuff we were doing. And he sold himself to me mainly as a guitarist. So I just started sort of getting him to do a few guitar bits here and there. And then I sent him some music for this album. And I said, can you stick a guitar lead over the end? I just want to get a bit of a feel rather than just me doing a pretend guitar lead. I wanted to kind of get something a bit more from the guts, as it were. And he did it. And he said, oh, do you want me to throw the drums down for this bit as well? I said, drums? He said, yeah, you play the drums? He said, yeah. I said, all right. So he did.
One of those kind. I hate guys like that.
Yeah, me too.
It just makes me mad. This makes me mad. Charlie is talking about the music video for the Final Redoubt. He's saying it was epic, and we are going to play the music video for you guys. I think you're going to really like it. Now, tell me a little bit about that song and how representational or representative to the rest of the record is it? Because that song's really, really cool, and I love the video.
Laura, you do it.
Well, it was, let's say, this is the connection to the warrior thing that we wanted to bring. So it has this flavor of warrior. It started with Boudica and actually went on through the Final Redoubt. And now we have the Blood Moon, which is the last very epic song, and some other bits and pieces. Let's say we have some songs that really reminds us about warrior, because we want always to give something, like a historical flavor to what we do. This is Imaginarium, so history is actually always there. And Clive got inspired by a film in this particular case, Zulu. Now I've learned this. So here you go. He wrote the song, and we wanted it to be very epic, very. We thought that this could represent the album actually, and so we started to think about the video. We started to think about the scenes of the video, a storyboard, and something we wanted people to reach. And we called our director, and the director was really great in leading us into it. And there you go. We have this magnificent video, I would say, epic one, and well, that gives the flavor of what you're going to have in the album, but not all, because this is not an obvious album. So if you listen to it carefully, it's really a lot of things come along while you listen to this album, actually, and a lot of it's not that obvious. For the Medici, for example, you had the concept of Renaissance. You had the instruments was all Renaissance-like, and it was a beautiful theme because it was about the theme Medici. In this case, the concept stays in the title of the album. So siege. So siege can be represented by nowadays a siege. So for an illness, for I don't know, for something that happens outside, for whatever it is, each of us find some siege inside of us, and this is what this album is about. Then we gave it the flavor of warrior because we like it.
Absolutely, yeah, you got to give it that flavor. But I think you're selling yourself short on the Medici story, because there's a little Machiavellian in all of us too, right? So you're not just totally painting yourself into a corner when you use historical type of stuff, right? Because that stuff's universal, man. There's a reason people are telling these stories all these years later, because it hits a certain part of the human soul, certain part of the human heart. I think you've set us up really good, Kevin. I think we should probably go to the video.
Let's do it.
I don't think we could probably set it up any better than Laura did. So here we go. This is the Final Redoubt. The first video. Hopefully there's going to be a couple more, because this song is actually really great. Here we go. It's got a little bit of an intro. Here we go.
Is that what the meat hall looks like, Clive?
Yes.
The threat is at the gateway. The threat is at the gateway. The final redoubt. These walls will not come down. These walls were built to last. The final redoubt. So many of them out there, a sea of faces blending into one. The silence as they wait there, silence like thunder. These walls will not come down. These walls were built to last. You will not shatter our defenses. You shall not pass. Souls are raging, everyone is straining at the leash. 1,000 souls are raging, heroes will break free. These walls will not come down, this rock will stand the blast. You will not shatter our defenses. No, you shall not fall. Spreading sickness without care or heed. blind to what the consequence may be. The threat is at the gateway. The battle horns are bracing for the rout. Be ready for the struggle, the final redoubt. These walls will not come down. These walls were built to last. You will not shatter our defenses. No, you shall not harm. You shall not
Very nice. Very nice. Neil Monaghan, director.
Yeah.
Mono.
Awesome. Awesome. Fantastic stuff. But let me know in the Peanut Gallery what you guys think of that. I'm excited. I think the rest of this album is going to be epic. I think it's going to be amazing. I can't wait to hear the rest of it. What do you think about the rest of it, Mark Monforti? I mean, I guess you liked it good enough to sign this act, right? There's a couple decent musicians involved, a couple guys, maybe, you know. Tell me about what you thought when you heard the final mix and everything was done on this album.
Well, it's basically what I expect from Clive. I mean, I basically gave Clive a blank check to do this thing because I know his ability, and Laura and I know each other very well. She's one of the top female vocalists in Prague, maybe in any music genre. And of course, Luis is there. Yeah, I've got a couple. I was thinking about kind of doing a little bit of an origin story about how this four of us got together, and that picture is part of it. So Laura and I, we met in Italy. That's Italy at our table at 2 Days Prague Plus One, and she saw how hard I was working for Unitopia there, and Clive and I knew each other, and Luis met him that time as well. As Clive did a house concert at our place, and he came in and did something with Christina Booth and Noel Catrera. I can't remember Calterera. Right. What you said. And so we had we had a house concert here, and he came back with Arena, so we knew each other. And you see Fido in that photo, and
yeah,
well,
I thought that was Fido.
Yeah, and there's Christina and I and Clive and Luis. That's the kind of and Tim also from Soda Sombra and Devil's Staircase. So we had some good times in Chicago, and I think they both thought to reach out to me to see if they could get another album done. And I just said, Laura, can you please get something that matches the sphere in your kitchen to hang in your kitchen so that we can market the siege with? Do you see her? You see she's got in the background there? If there's a siege ball in her mirror there.
Is there? That's one.
Yes.
Ah, look at that. I see.
So
how did I miss that?
It's a siege. Yes, of course.
It is. It's the siege ball. Oh, that's awesome.
Inspiration from my lamp.
Right.
I appreciate that. That is awesome.
So that's basically what happened. You know, the album is great. You know, when I think about, you know, I first saw Clive in 2005 at Arena show at Rossfest, and they were touring The Visitor, and, you know, it's maybe one of the best prog albums ever. So I'm just very excited to be working with the two of them, and hooking up Luis with them. Luis played 2 songs at my house for Clive with Tim, and so he already knew that he was capable. And then I think Luis could say maybe a little bit how it actually, what you sent over and how it worked out for you.
Well, I mean, first and foremost, with any project that I do, it's all about the songs. Like I met Clive, and I've loved his work with Arena and all the other things he's done. And we got the opportunity to play, but there we go. And I just wanted to be to be able to bring something to the table that would serve his compositions, because Clive is one of those people that gets to really write. I describe them as songs that play themselves. They really work very, very well. And I've been around the block a few times, and I've had experiences with songs that don't play themselves. So it was really a great joy. And as a result of that first encounter, we also got to talk, and we got to know each other. And at the time, he was also sharing with me some of his ideas for what eventually became the theory of molecular inheritance with Arena. And I was very happy to give him some physics so that he could actually have some of the artwork on the album be really science-based. So if people wanted to really dig into it, they would find, quantum field theory equations for DNA. And I don't know, Clive is just a guy that I genuinely like and respect. So it was very easy for me, and I was very happy when I was given the opportunity to work, because I knew it was going to be great. And then when I actually heard the songs, I was really excited, because I thought some of these really could, if we beef them up just a little bit, they'll have a little extra.
And you know a little something about beefing up the low end. This guy is one of the busiest bass players in the world right now. We talk about really busy bass players, and you think about Jonas Reingold, right?
Oh, yeah.
He comes to mind right away. I got him on the show March 9th, ladies and gentlemen. So mark your calendars. Jonas Reingold booked on the Prog Corner March 9th. I told you about that, right, Kevin?
Yes, I'm excited.
Have you heard that new Car Mechanic album yet?
I haven't.
It's really good. So we got a lot to talk about then, but I always like to interject stuff, and I just enjoy interrupting people. Luis, I'm sorry, man. You were telling this nice little story,
but
and
I have heard the new Imaginarium album though, and it's great.
I haven't heard the whole thing.
I've heard the whole thing. It's and I love the first album, and I think this one's even better.
Oh, okay.
The record is great, and the demos.
Could I just point out, just before we go too far away from it? Sorry, Lewis, I'll shut up again. That video that you watched, the promo video, was all filmed in the Mead Hall, which is about 50 feet away from where I'm sitting at the moment, because we had this space where we moved, and I just thought this has got to be a Viking Mead Hall. So we built a Viking Mead Hall, straight out of those sort of episodes of Vikings that you've watched over. Probably.
That's what I thought of right away, was that Vikings show.
It's a venue.
With Ragnar.
To a venue that I can actually do events at, and it's a brilliant. It suited our purposes fantastically. So all of that you saw there's a bit of CGI with the snow, but apart from that, that's it's about 50 feet away from where I'm sitting.
I was either thinking, I'm sorry, Laura, I was either thinking that was the hall from that Viking show, or maybe the Monforti mansion where he holds all those house concerts, one or the other.
Maybe that actually motivated him to have a venue in his house by playing two shows here.
I'm sorry, Laura, you were in the middle of saying something.
No, I just wanted to mention also our other guitarist, as we haven't mentioned him yet. So, yes, we have Mirko Sangrigoli, we have Luis Nasser, but we have the amazing Simone Migliava.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because there's a reason I haven't mentioned that name yet. I was a little unsure. It's Simone Migliava?
Simone Migliava.
Migliava. Okay.
He's actually a very talented 22 years old guy that started up with me. Yes, he's incredible.
Wow.
And he has a great taste for sounds, he pays a lot of attention for that, and he is really, really talented. And so obviously he took the part of our poor Eric, when he passed away, he was approved by Eric because I presented Simone to Eric, so he was actually his choice.
Nice.
Yes, it was his choice, because when I understood that things were not going in the direction we wanted it to go, I just started delicately to say, you know, when you're not feeling well, perhaps we have somebody to, you know, back up. You never know. Someday, perhaps we have a show. You don't. And he said, "Oh, absolutely. Oh, I love that guy." And he really approved. He said, "That's the guy."
Nice.
So he really took his place because
I'm sorry, as a fan, I need that kind of little sign of legitimacy, like just knowing that Francesco Di Giacomo totally 100% approved of Tony D'Alessio and Banco del Maturo Socoso. It means everything to me, man. That totally legitimizes him as the heir to that mighty throne that, you know, he sat on. So I need that. I think that that legitimizes things quite a bit. If Eric said this cat was okay, this cat's okay. But you know, we are so happy to have with us, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, none other than Clive Nolan is in the Prog Corner. Clive, I am just so honored to have you here, and we have got, we're going to do this. You knew we were going to do this at some point, no matter what project you're in. Some bonehead is going to try to bring up all the other stuff you've done over the course of your illustrious career. It's just amazing. I mean, you look at all this stuff, it equals, I don't know, how many total albums would this be? Over the course of, like, what, 40 years, 42 years, something like that?
I truly don't. I haven't got a clue. In fact, to be honest, there's quite a lot of projects in that list you haven't got.
I thought so too.
I miss some, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But you know, there's a difference between making an appearance on someone else's album and creating the album myself. You know, the albums that I've sort of taken from the soul outwards have probably only, I don't know, 20 or 30 albums or something like that. Whereas obviously I'm on hundreds of albums. But
there's a great one right there.
What's that? Which one are you pointing
King's
at?
Ransom.
Yeah, where you see The Mortal Light, which is the sequel to that, which is the third Alchemy musical, is I'm literally listening to the mixes. Well, not right now, obviously, but over the last day or two, because that's coming out in a month or so's time. And I'm hopefully it will be a strong musical as well. So and obviously, well, we know the Imaginarium album's coming out in April, so you know, not far to go now. I wanted to just point something out about Lewis as well, because I felt we sort of shut him down.
But I've been doing that this entire episode. Am I just sort of like, am I coming at Luis in a very passive aggressive way, Clive? Because A, he was late, and because B, he's telling the whole world on Sea of Tranquility that Steve Howe's out of tune on the revealing science of God, and I'm flailing my arms, and I'm like, no, I wanna hurt this guy. He's so wrong. I'm like, he's kind of right. I just wanna, oh man, but he's not 100% wrong. He is a little sharp there. Yeah, but I just, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Clive. What are you leading up to?
I was just going to say that I really enjoyed what he brought to the table with this album, because we have a particular approach with a lot of the albums I do. The bass, I would be wrong to say takes a back seat, but provides a sort of strong foundation to a lot of activity that's going on around it. Obviously with this gentleman's bass, it's, you know, he wanted to be in the ring, not the ring.
Yeah.
This meant that we had to kind of push the bass up into the kind of the area where people are more conscious of what's going on. And for me, that's always a battle between making sure that it's there and poking its head above the parapet, but not getting in the way of other stuff. So that was an interesting challenge that he set me for doing that. And at the same time, I really enjoy, when he sent the bass parts in, I was thinking, oh yeah, that's great. Because it sort of, added a bit of spice to the whole thing. And I also think that, as with all meals, when you have all the different ingredients, that change of ingredient there makes a big difference to the whole. And I think it was a very valuable addition to this latest Imaginarium outing, if I might say.
It's a bit what I said in the documentary, because normally the bass player for me is very important as backbone with the drums, of course. In this specific case, we shouldn't speak in this way in front of you, furry mammal.
behind his back.
We are doing it, okay? We are doing it. In any way, this guy is amazing. And I said to Clive, oh, wow, he gives really this flavor, this spicy something that you kind of want to hear what he's doing. So I loved it. Great choice for us. You're really great Monforti to tell us. And good we have you. We are really happy to have you.
See, you know what? You know what? I don't know about you, Clive. You're a tad bit more of an accomplished musician than I. But I don't know about you. But, there's two types of bass players. The ones you can count on to give me the root of every chord that I'm playing, basically when I'm playing it. Or the guy that gives me this musical intangible called just that musical brain. And when you've got that extra musical genius in the stew, what wouldn't you want about that? And that's what Luis is bringing to every one of the projects I've heard him play on. It's just like this other level, like you kind of feel like his weird, quirky brain working in your music. It's got to be really kind of cool, right?
I agree.
Yeah, but in my mind, there's a third kind of bassist, and that's the soloist. And I don't want that.
That's right.
Yeah.
I managed to find a good, but sometimes I just want the bassist to shut up, and basically just go dong, 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 because that is the point of what's going on above.
Right.
Other times, other things can happen.
Yeah.
But some people don't know the art of restraint. Right. If you can find a bassist who can meet be the foundation and be the whatever you want to call it, then that's good. And that's why I'm saying that this chap down here with the big beard, it's sort of got that. And
you've got better hair though, Clive.
Well, years, years.
Hold on.
I got it about right, so it's going to fall out now. There you go. You grow that for another couple of years and you'll be in business.
I'm going hatless the rest of the way here, boys and girls, because I'm feeling a little hair envy. It's not often I have somebody that beats me at my own game on the program. No, that looks ridiculous.
I've always argued I don't care what color my hair goes as long as I've still got some. So that's
Roger that.
That sort of kept me going this far, but
Hey, we always like to keep posted on the comings and goings in the Peanut Gallery, but boys and girls, Kevin Dodson's in the house. Congratulations on the continued success for the Madrigal Project. Every day, more and more people are tuned into the 11th hour and just how amazing that album actually was. And Charlie, yes, thank you so much. I love you too. Yeah, my hair is quite lovely. Yes, it is. Absolutely. But we were talking about bass players. Luis, you grew up in Mexico, right?
Correct. Mexico City.
What were you listening to when you were like, those formative years, right? Where you talk about it on Sea of Tranquility and stuff all the times, and you're like 13, 14 years old. And what were you listening to?
I was listening to a lot of The Who, a lot of King Crimson, a lot of Jethro Tull and Deep Purple and Black Sabbath, mainly. And at the time, I didn't really have in my head this idea of prog. I just had in my head an idea of this music is great, and I would just listen to it. And and then a little bit later, I got into a lot of Iron Maiden. That was really, when those records started happening, that was really, really great. And basically, in many ways, I'm more of a hard rock metalhead than a prog guy.
Yeah.
I know that I've disparaged Yes to the chagrin of many. I've never disparaged Chris Squire, though.
Yeah.
And
I noticed that.
And there's good reasons for this. But
Yeah.
But I was basically listening to metal and heavier music, hard rock, a lot of the Who, but also a lot of Pink Floyd, a lot of stuff like that. So, and much later, I got into a little bit of jazz and things of that nature. And to go back to Clive's idea and why I was so excited to do this project, Clive has a very unique way of writing songs, and Laura has a very unique voice. So you don't want to get in the way of that.
Yeah.
Like my whole philosophy of bass is not to try to play a bass solo over every little hole available in the song, because that's just not right to do. I feel more like the Ron Carter school, where the role of the bass is really not to play the root or the, all the time, and also not to play the fifth or the third. You got to be careful, because if when there's vocals, if they're going for that, it makes for a weaker bass line.
That's right.
My idea was just to figure out what's the right note at the right time.
Yeah. I mean, I think you instinctively get it. Some bass players don't. Clive definitely alluded to the different types. That third type of bass player, the one that just wants to fill every single spare little section that doesn't have a sound. I'm going to, do something there. But I think the role of the bass player is still to be kind of the musical foundation, which means you got to have that set of ears that hears what everybody else is doing all the time and making the right decisions.
Well, that's the thing is, when you're a musician of any instrument, even if you just play the triangle, you need to listen to the other people, right? That's first and foremost. And the second is in a setting like this, the chord is not really the chord until I play my note.
That's right.
So you have a lot of possibilities of where you want to take things. There's a lot of it is a big responsibility to play those four strings, and I enjoy it. But again, it all goes back to these two, and those demos were so powerful that you immediately knew that these songs were things you had to take care of. So as Clive would say it, I would send him the stuff, and then he would Nolanize it. He would take what he liked and he would put it together, and that's fantastic, because he sent some really detailed demos. Every demo he sent me, with the exception of one or two, had a bass line on them already.
Yeah.
And then the idea was just to say, well, should I just replicate this, or what would I do?
Clive, how open were you to him coming up with something that was maybe slightly different than the demo?
No, he had to play every note exactly as I said.
That's right, or else, man, there's going to be hell to pay. I'm canceling that check, man. Clive, my mind is still blown by Luis saying, the chord ain't the chord until I play my note. I'm a music theory guy, right? I majored in music theory in college. He's absolutely right. My mind is blown. I mean, do you think about chord voicings and stuff like that, and when you're writing?
It's very important, all those sort of details. And the way that I sent the stuff to Lewis was I sent him the parts and as he said, most of the time they were bass, but I would put a bass part together using a sample bass so that I've got the whole the song running. But and what I did with him is I said, look, this bit here, I want it to stay just like that, because it's important to this bit. Fill your boots, do what you like, and we sort of had a language. We found a language where he understood the bits that worked, the bits I wanted. And if he went off piste a bit too much for my taste, then I just edited the bugger out of him until he couldn't go anywhere.
Problem solved.
But the funny thing was, when he did the first version, he was very careful. He was very respectful to what I'd given him as the bass parts, and he was sort of like doing a few flicks here and there, but basically sticking quite closely. And I just wrote to him, could you spice it up a bit? So nice. I actually let him off the leash a lot more than I think he was expecting me to do, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, because that's the thing. As a composer myself, I always feel like I have to respect the vision of the composer and give them what they sent me. And then from there, we could have a conversation.
But Luis, come on, let's be honest. It's one thing if you're writing for some, schmuck in Belgium that you've never heard of before, just starting up something. And a guy named Clive Nolan sending you some stuff. The level of respect to the original demos. I'm sorry, I would be so slavish if he sent me some. I would be afraid to play anything different at all. So that's awesome. I love that story. Now, we know Luis grew up in Mexico. What, Clive? You came into the business when? When do you figure you actually considered yourself a professional musician? Right? When do you figure that you made that crossover? 80 what? 80 what? 5 or way before then?
I mean, it depends. My first paid, or the first check I ever got for doing something was when I was still in the choir at school. So I mean, but I won't count that. I mean,
let's go all the way back.
in the mid 80s. I mean, I went to university. I studied music. Sounds like similar to what you did. So throughout the early 80s, I was still at university and sort of finding my feet. And I had a very different vision of where I was headed. I assumed that I would possibly be writing film music or conducting an orchestra. I mean, it was quite a classical education I had. And, the rock thing was sort of part of my life by then, but not by any means the kind of main focus. And then I was sort of playing in bands. And then it was really when I joined Pendragon, because I'd known Nick from the age of 4. I met him at school, so many, many years before. And so,
wow, I knew you guys were childhood friends. It really goes back to 4 years old. I always figured you met like in high school or something. 4?
Yeah, I'll tell you how we met. We were 4 years old. We went to that primary school and we were sat down at the same table and he sneezed on me. And I made a big fuss about this. And the teacher said, right, you two are not sitting together, because basically we got into trouble and that kind of bonded us. So, that was it. 4 years old onwards. And we and then we went off in different directions. He went off, he formed, so I should say, Pendragon pretty much the day he left school at 16. I went through the whole sort of university education and did a master, a degree in music and then a sort of further degree and all the rest of that jazz. So I stayed in the sort of world of education a lot longer. And I was aware of what he was doing. And then occasionally he'd come with his band or members of the band and he'd stay with me on the floor of wherever I happened to be so they could hop into London for the old record company meetings that you used to try and do in those days. And we'd have that conversation. Yeah, well, doing this and doing that. And I was sort of playing in my own little sort of prog rock band at the time, but not really with any sort of intention. And then in the mid 80s, he sort of, I remember they came to me one night and he was moaning about the situation and the fact that the keyboard player was likely to. And we'd had a few drinks. And I sort of said, I'll tell you one thing. I do the keyboards for half the price he's charging you. Well, I really regretted that.
Yeah, man. Here we are. 40 years later.
Yeah, he rang me up and he said, yeah, you remember what you said? I said, yes. And he said, well, do you want to do it? I said, okay, well, and he said, go on, it'll be fun. That was 40 years ago. So, yeah, no, not quite 40 years ago. But, it has been fun as well. So.
Wow, Kyle, with bringing back the memories. Milwaukee 2013. You see that, Luis?
Oh, yeah. That was a very nerve-wracking gig because I'm a big fan of Kevin Gilbert.
Oh.
And I know that Kevin Gilbert played bass in his own band. So, you're always nervous to play somebody else's music. But I'm more nervous to play. Like, I got a chance to play Gentle Giant music in front of some of the guys in Gentle Giant. But and that was nerve-wracking. But playing music for a guy who's dead and he can't be there to shout at you and tell you what you got wrong, it feels like a lot of responsibility because people want to hear the songs just the way they do them. So, yeah, Champions of Nothing was great fun.
Yeah, I don't envy you, by the way, in any way, shape, or form, trying to emulate Ray Shulman in front of ex-members of Gentle Giant.
Well, Ray has always been a very big influence on me once I discovered the band, and I just loved what he did, and he also taught me a lot about note placement. Him and John Glasscock of Jethro Tull were two masters, came from different angles, but people don't normally speak of them, unfortunately. Later, of course, everybody gets into Rush. I was a big Rush fan. I love Geddy, but yeah, the way you place the notes And again, yes, I obviously respect Clive, and there's two ways in which I see his work. I see him as this, well, he's Mr. Arena and Mr. Pendragon and Mr. this and that, and these are important records for me. But at the same time, he's the guy I know that we had beers with and that I actually really respect as a person, because there's lots of times you have people you admire their work, but then you never even meet them, or if you do meet them, they're a bit disappointing.
Yeah, well, you know how it is, Kevin. We've had all kinds of people here, and there's certain people that come on, right? I don't know anybody, so it's not like anybody that comes on this show I actually know who they are. But there's certain people you just figure are going to be cool, right? And you're not worried about it, not like one little bit. You just figure, yeah, this dude's going to be fine. Our energies are going to match just fine. Clive is definitely that guy, right?
Oh, yeah. And it was just effortless. And that's a very important thing. I believe in chemistry when it comes to making music with people. So just from that one show with him and Tina, who, by the way, Tina, if you're watching, and
we love you.
It was just great. And then when I met Laura, and again, what I like about having met Laura is that I met her with my ears. And that instantly was a very powerful encounter for me, because there were lots of disclaimers. There's always disclaimers. Oh, this is just a demo. This is just a thing. But, the demo can reveal a lot. I mean, or as we say in the U.S., and this is something we all know, you cannot polish a turd.
Yeah.
So the demo was so good.
Roll it in glitter.
Yeah, that's right. But then, it was. I just knew that this was a special record, and I knew I had to do my best to sort of inhabit it, and play the songs. They're not Sona songs. They're not songs. They're not arena songs either, because I've learned and played some of those. These are Imaginarium songs, and I had to find a voice for them for what I do, and it was really a great privilege, and more than that, a pleasure, really, to do it. I was very, very happy to do it. We did it fairly fast, I think, and it was a lot of fun.
We've been getting some people in the Peanut Gallery saying we need to witness Laura performing live. Laura, what do you got going on? Are there going to be any Imaginarium live gigs? Do you have anything solo? The people want to see you performing live. They're demanding it.
For sure, in October we are going to perform first of all in the Mead Hall, and we got Imaginarium live there, the 10th and the 11th, right, Clive? Yes, 10th and 11th of October in the Mead Hall, and then we move for a couple of dates in Alphen in Holland, where we had our gig last year, and then we have Belgium before we have Belgium, so we have 15th, 16th, and 17th of October. Right.
Nice.
I know. Yeah. In between, let's hope for something different. Perhaps I will do something online, like streaming live, and that for sure. I could sing for you now, but that would break the screens in this moment with the microphone on the computer.
We can't handle all that greatness. Come on, it would just be too much. We couldn't handle it. We can't handle that much here on the show. But Mark, I've been saying that about what you've been putting out on progrock.com essentials for quite some time.
Thank you.
What do we have here? We have the Sonus Umbra, right?
Right.
Luis might know a little something about that. The Luz de Riata record, right?
Is that your cancer photo, Luis, on the cover?
No, that's my brain, but it wasn't cancer. I had a tumor in the pituitary gland. And,
that's what that is?
Yeah. You can see the tumor there. That was removed.
Behind the right eye.
That's cool. And, of course, Ghost of the Machine. What's the release date on this? What's the street date? March?
3/7. I'll be
3/7.
with Charlie that Friday.
Woo! Ghost of the Machine, Empires Must Fall. We've also got the new Mark Trueck EP entitled Save Us. Fantastic stuff. Kevin, you've been playing this on Prog Radio, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm going to go through a little bit more of the discography. This is incredible, people. You need to go to progrock.com essentials. What's this Unobtainium, the Siberium, all about?
So
this is a cool CD. This was in my car for like a week straight.
I love those guys. They're from Chicago, and they had this awful idea not to put out a CD. So I said, "Here's a check. I'm going to take over. I'm going to take the rights to this CD."
Yeah.
So I basically did. They're amazing.
They are.
They have a singer that was 6th on the Voice. And
Oh, okay, that's right. That's the story with them, right? Right. They have that voice person. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. And they're all good guys. Tommy, people know him from As You'll Cry, the drummer, and Brian is great on bass. He's been replaced, I should mention, by another Chicagoan, Tom Heslin. And they're just great guys. Frank on keyboards, and now why can't I think of the lead singer's name all of a sudden?
We got to correct that. How about
5 letters? Everybody in the band has 5 letters.
Oh, the old steel trap.
Frank, Brian, Keith, and Tommy.
Keith Semple. That's
Keith Semple.
Yeah. Thank you.
There you go. Speaking of Mark Trueck, how about United Progressive Fraternity? We've got Planetary Overload Parts 1 and Part 2. Fantastic stuff. I love that whole project. Just fantastic. Yeah. The Discipline remaster with the Terry Brown remix. Oh, yeah. This is all on this guy's label, people. You need to go there and order some stuff. How about Don Schiff Anthology? Yeah. All the cool stuff. Rocket Scientist, dude, man.
That one near me.
Unitopia. Speaking of Unitopia, got the Garden right here. We got 7 Chambers, and I guess we've got some more exciting Unitopia news down the pipeline. So I'm really, really excited about that. Yeah. Mark, thanks for all your hard work putting all this stuff together. It does not go unappreciated. It really doesn't.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
A lot of people talk a big game, man, but you're actually putting your money where your mouth is. Oh, and hey, Kevin, a couple weeks ago, you were off. You took a little time off, and we had Circa 5, Steve Tilling, and his crew, Circa 5. He sent me their first 2 CDs. Yeah, it's mail call time. But do you like this kind of like packaging? Where he signed it too. That's cool. But you got the whole like almost like an art book right here and like a hardbound CD. So that's kind of cool. Thank you, Steve. We got to shout. People send me free stuff. We gotta at least mention it. That's part of the whole game. And look at that. The numbers go up when I just talk crap. Like I got Clive Nolan talking like his entire thing. I just play with my hair and show CDs I got in the mail, and the numbers go up. What's wrong?
They're going to have an earbook. I just wanted to mention. So something like this.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. So a 32-page version of this with 2 CDs and a Blu-ray as well, and we'll have it on USB as well. This you could see this is the Solstice one we did. It's a USB that spins 90 degrees and then becomes a USB-A thing. So just so you know.
What do you guys think of this whole, new format? Is this viable? Does this thing have legs? I like the idea, Mark. I really think it's kind of cool.
You mean the USB is a new format?
Yeah, because you don't see a lot of bands like on their websites, vinyl, CD, digital, and here's the USB.
I saw it in a, if you got a VIP for Pineapple Thief show, they gave you all the demos on a USB, and I said, I'm going to remember that, and so that's basically why I did it. And they're not too expensive to make. They're about the same as a vinyl, so I figured I'd give it a shot. And I'll tell you, Solstice sold 60 of 100 so far. So okay. So that's an idea.
Well, coming up on the label, not just Imaginarium, not just Ghost of the Machine, brand new Solstice.
Yeah, Clan.
We need to talk about having Andy on the show. We've been saying this for a while, but
yeah, his release is April 4th, so maybe something that works out for you around that time.
Well, let's see what do we have on the live show here coming up. Next week, I'm doing a jazz fusion show. Clive, are you into jazz fusion at all?
No.
You know,
You want to think about it a little?
I am doing. You know,
I was waiting for that. No.
I'm going to be building.
I mean, but I don't. I'll be honest. This is one of my things, and I know people kind of look at me with shock, but I don't like jazz.
Yeah.
I could explain why, but it'll take me a long time, and I don't want to insult anybody or all the rest of it. I've got a particular dislike of the sound of the saxophone.
Oh boy!
I know.
That's awesome.
But there are loads of exceptions, because I mean, I love Frank Sinatra, for example, and you could argue that's jazz. It's a big umbrella. So I mean, it's such a generalization. So you say to me, do I like jazz fusion? I'd instantly think no, but I bet
that's great. I love it.
Say something and I'd like it. So, you know,
we don't beat around the bush here, man. We tell it like it is. You know, people don't like it. It's, you know, it's too bad. Yeah, don't tell Brett Bristow about that.
Yeah, you don't like
saxophone thing.
I was thinking the same
thing. Oh, we love you, Brent. It's okay. It's all right. Clive didn't mean to, you know, come at you like that. It's all right. No, he was kidding.
I'm not keen on the sound of the saxophone. It doesn't mean to say I'm not impressed by performers and their ability. It's a different thing. But, you know, it's not something I would put on myself, you know, to listen to. But anyway, going down.
Kevin, Kev, are you sitting in on the jazz thing next week? We have got
I was planning on it.
Brad Stone. We've got Eric Lamy and George. Eric Porter and George Lamy from Sea of Tranquility. And Kevin from Prague Radio. It's going to be an interesting show. And basically, I'm going to say... is Jazz Fusion dead? Or something like that. I think I'm going to title it. And I'm going to see if they can convince me otherwise, right? Because I'm not so sure about it. I really am not. I was big into the fusion in the 70s. You probably were too, Kev. Like, you know, Return to Forever and Mahavishnu Orchestra. It was cool to like that stuff for a minute. Yeah. And I kind of haven't listened to it since.
Radio, there's a steady stream. I mean, part of its brand is it's always dying. You know, that's its brand. So it's never going away, probably, but it'll stay.
So we're going to explore that next Sunday. That's March 2nd. March 9th, talk about great bass players. You know, we've got Luis Nasser today. March 9th, how about Jonas Reingold on the show talking about the brand new Car Mechanic album, which comes out March 7th. I've heard it. It's stellar. It's outstanding. Next Sunday, March 16th, all the way from the wilds of Norway, it's Sycophant. They've got a brand new EP coming out. Guys, you haven't sent it to me yet. That's kind of weird. And then March 23rd, we're doing the Battle of 1977. That's going to be a lot of fun. Rounding out March 30th. You know, I've been trying to get a hold of Mo, but we're doing the 10 best Nectar songs. So hopefully we'll have Mo, Derek Moore on for that. If not, that's all right. Their tour is starting up April 11th. So if you're a fan of the great American prog band Nectar, get your tickets now. There's like a 10 or 11 date tour gearing up. We love those guys. Clive, what's going on in your world? Besides the Imaginarium release, April 4th is the release date on Siege?
Yeah. April 4th. And can I just point out as well that the artwork for the Siege...
Yes, please do. Gorgeous.
There's a guy called David Wyatt, and he's done several of the covers for Arena, amongst other things. He also did my Song of the Wildlands, my Viking album. He did the cover and the artwork for that.
Look at that.
Brilliant.
Look at that.
Yeah, he's got a great feel. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to have it just for the artwork.
Yeah, not only that, but your version of the picture there is a special edition, because that is before we changed our mind about the name of the album. So what you've got there is Imaginarium, The Siege, and in the end...
Oh, no way. I didn't... Oh, let me see this. So cool. Look at that. Yeah, that's old school.
Yeah.
It's worth a fortune, Kevin.
Right. It is. For thousands. But yeah, he's a wonderful artist. So whenever I work with him, he's very good. He understands. I always start by saying to him, I can't tell you exactly what I want, but I can tell you what I don't want. And then he always understands and he gets to it. And Laura was, she was sort of saying, well, is he going to do what we... And the moment I sent her some sketches, she just said, yeah, there we are.
You sent a picture of Laura's lamp.
I did want to say to people, I think that you should really think about getting the deluxe edition of Siege, I was blown away by the artwork and all the detail that's been paid to everything. And I know that people always complain, well, where can I buy this after it, these limited editions run out? So don't be on the fence. I mean, I say that as a music fan, not as the guy that played the bass on it. It's a great album, and it's a great package. It's an object of art.
Yeah.
That
We prog fans, we appreciate that, right? We kind of want, expect, and demand the full package, the full experience. We want all senses involved in our beloved prog music. It's firing every cylinder in our brain. So why would we want to stop there, right? We want everything to be satisfied, and that includes the artwork. Absolutely, the tactile feel of a gatefold or a cool art book. There's nothing in the world like it, man. You get the whole experience. That's what it's all about, man. And yes, so Mark Monforti, people need to go to progrock.com essentials. Where do they need to go to pick up all this great stuff that we've been talking about for the last hour?
So you can go to essentials.progrock.com or progrock.com. There's an essentials link. So
Okay.
and that ships from Chicago or Italy. So that's about 40 countries right there. You'll see it in Japan at Disc Union. You'll see it in UK with Burning Shed, and Germany will have it, of course, with Just for Kicks and many others. So that's my distribution channels right now.
I mean, it's getting exciting, right? It's almost like it used to be like watching Inside Out's release schedule, right? Where you actually got excited about stuff. What is going on with my computer? It's like freaking out right now. Stop that.
Well,
but now it's progrock.com. I'm getting excited about with releases like Solstice, releases like Imaginarium, releases like Ghost of the Machine. This is great. We're in a new golden age, Clive. A golden age which I don't think you envisioned back in 1985. I don't think when you click back up with Nick after all those years, you would have thought that all these years later, people would be talking about records like Kowtow or The World or, Window of Life or Masquerade Overture. It's just got to be a lot of fun for you knowing that people consider you like one of the godfathers of the whole prog rock movement. That's got to be awesome. And I'm not the only one saying it.
No, it's great. I mean, the funny thing is, over the years, I've done interviews and people say, is this the beginning of a prog rock revival? And I've always never really been away. It's always there. It just pokes its head up a little more at certain points along the way. But there's always been a core following for this genre of music. I think people make the mistake in believing that every man on the street is a music lover, because they're not. And these genres of music, whether it's progressive rock or jazz or whatever the particular thing is, they all have their followings. And sometimes, one band will break out of that slightly and kind of raise the profile of it. But I've always believed in this. I don't write progressive rock. I just write what I write. It just so happens it seems that's where I fit. But as far as I'm concerned, I never give it a second thought. We just do what we do and hope that people like it, which is always a bonus if they do. And I'm very sure that people will enjoy the Siege album, apart from Ian LaBelle. I noticed down there, he's not so keen.
Yeah,
that's
Ian.
right.
We love you, Ian. But he's a tough nut to crack, man. He really is. He has privately told me that he really doesn't like much anything that's come out since 1980 anyway. So you got to take that with a grain of salt.
I can live with that. That's fine.
But he tries. He's here every Sunday. He listens every Sunday. He tries as hard as Ian. We love you. That's all we ask for, right? Not every single thing is going to float every single boat. That is fine. All I ask is for that you put in just a fraction of the effort that you put in when you were 13 years old. Because if you're crying that there's no good music anymore, then put your money where your mouth is. Put a little effort into it. And if you put a few hours into it and you seriously don't like, Pendragon or Arena or Imaginarium or any of the bands Luis is involved in, then I can't help you, but at least you tried. And, my heart goes out to you, Ian. You're a good guy. And yes, you are a troublemaker. You should probably take after Jeff Shilka, who is a good little soldier, does as he's told, prefaces my outro by giving the snakes. Thank you so much. Laura, final words.
Final words are love our album.
Nice. I love it. I love it.
This is what I want to say. Click
Yeah.
on the pre-order button and I am sure you're going to be blown away by it.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, Luis. Oh no. Culebras. Ay.
Oh yeah.
No. He's actually got the real thing, ladies and gentlemen. Clive, we love you. It's been an absolute honor and a privilege to have you on the Prog Corner. Hopefully we can have you back again when, your next of your, hundreds of different projects is popping up and you want to promote it a little bit. You're always welcome.
Thank you. That's very
Thank you
kind.
so much. Mark, again, thank you for all your hard work. And Kevin, another great episode, huh?
Great people, great album.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
the first one. Really love the second one.
There you go. Well,
Thank
anyway,
you so much. Thanks, guys. Scott,
Kiefer
thanks.
has just renamed your snakes, Luis. Oh no, maybe he named my snakes. Oh, my snakes are named. What are they? Oh yeah, I guess my snakes have names now. Elias and Sunhillo. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're dancing with snakes. I'll see you soon. Oh, peace in the Middle East. Oh, God save the king. I love you guys. I'll see you next week when we have another exciting live stream. Love you.